Scott, it must have felt good to get a practice. You guys haven't had a whole lot of them over the last few weeks here.
Yeah, it really has been a tough schedule. I mean, we were going pretty good and had a pretty good clip here. So we got the one tomorrow, and then we got a couple more days off. So get some work in. Had a good practice today, good tempo. Got to work on a couple of things.
Yeah, when you reflect on, I think you played 9 times in 15 games. You guys won 8 of those 9 games. That's a pretty remarkable stretch of hockey and a results-oriented business, right? You guys got the results, no doubt, that you would have wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of like scoring streaks. It's kind of like even losing streaks. Sometimes when you get on, especially that on a winning streak, you got the feel you just play. You just go and you open the door and play. And the guys stuck to the system real well and kept doing night in, night out, playing the way we needed to play. And whether that took us, if we knocked the team out in the first period, or it took us like the other night to win it late in the game, whatever it took, we did a real good job of through that stretch of playing pretty consistent hockey.
In terms of the guys today, no Nikolaj. Obviously, he was the game time decision the other day. This is just a continuation of that, trying to manage whatever he's dealing with? Yeah,
it's just management today there, and so we'll see how he is tomorrow. And like to think that he'd be back in tomorrow. So we're more maintenance. Scheifele, he'll be day to day. And then with KC, that was his first real practice with us. Like you said, we haven't had a whole lot of chance to do that. So that was his first one. We'll see how he is tomorrow and go from there. But, it's nice to see him back. Obviously, the other guys, it's kind of just take it day to day with them.
In terms of Kyle, then would it be completely out of the question that he could be potential for tomorrow? Or
it's wait till tomorrow morning. Like I said, today was the first one where he was right in the middle of everything, and whether it was power play or 5-on-5 drills, there were some specific things for him and a few of the other players that haven't been able to do that lately. So it was good for him to kind of be in situations that were real game-like. So we'll just with the wake up tomorrow, see what it's like, how he's doing tomorrow, and go from there.
I think it's 5 games in the next 20-some days, 10 games in the next 33 days. As coaches, how do you manage that? And particularly as opposed to how it's been lately where you had so many games?
Yeah, we'll just, we have the Islander game, then we got a little bit of a break, but then we go kind of a little bit of, Ottawa, then down into Boston, then back up to Toronto, and then Toronto back here. So it kind of picks up at the end again, sort of the every other night thing. But, that's just from here to the All-Star break is to stay focused. Don't look at your vacation plans and don't get too far ahead of yourself. Finish our business in these next 5 games, get it done. Some good teams that we're going to be facing. So just stay focused. We've been doing a lot of good things here over the first half of the year. Just finish on a strong note to get to the break.
Can there be some real value in being able to practice a little more than you have been in the past, and also get guys who are been banged up or are recovering more of a ease back into the lineup, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, this week is different from what we've seen. So just like I said, we play tomorrow, and then we got a few days before the Ottawa game, and that'll help us with guys that aren't injured but have those bumps and bruises. It's nice for them to kind of get a couple of. We won't practice all 3 days. We'll see how we go about it, but we won't do all 3 days. But before we head to Ottawa, but at the end of the day, it's a good stretch for us to kind of just sort of unwind it for a bit to get fired back up for the last 3 the last 4 before we go into the break.
In your experience, is there anything that has to be done to guard against losing your mojo, so to speak, when you're playing a lighter schedule or have a big break?
Well, after the All-Star break, the good news is the league has allowed us to have a practice on the Sunday prior to going, I think after 2 o'clock, and the Monday. So we will actually do that. We'll practice 2 days before that first game back against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. So that's, last year I think we were all flying in and had a quick one before our first game. So, there'll be a lot. We won't need to talk about it now, but there's be a lot of emphasis towards all of our games after the second half, after kind of what happened last year. It'll be a little bit different focus on how we approach everything.
Just in terms of, I guess, that emphasis on, protecting how good you guys have been to this point. Does last year come into play, or in like a really short-term sense, like that second period against Philly may have been the first time puck management has been a big issue for a while. So are these almost useful tools in your toolbox to keep the focus?
Yeah, I think that, everybody, we don't have to tell the players, everybody that was here last year, they know that after the break, how our sort of our game changed a little bit. So we're not there yet. We still have some work to do here before we get to the break. I think the biggest thing is it's funny, the Philly game. We played a carbon copy team of how we play. They really, we went back and looked at the video. They smothered us like we like to smother teams. They pressured hard all over the ice, even for a team that played the night before. They didn't give us a whole lot of room to work. And, at the end of the day, it was really, we did give up chances in the second because we tried to open it up and tried to, we tried to create offense that maybe wasn't there, and we turned some pucks over and gave them some looks. But third period was 7-3 for us, 5-on-5 chances, so we got back to what we needed to do. And but that was a good team that we played, and they played hard. And we're going to see those teams. That's what a lot of the games will be like moving forward. So, but the big thing for us is get to that break and get to it on the same kind of playing the same way we've been playing, and stay consistent with our work ethic, stay consistent on how we approach each team, each night.
That's sort of, as soon as you don't have the puck, you've got an instant plan to get it back. There's pressure everywhere. Is that what most teams want to do, but almost you're building towards it down the stretch? Or is that a unique, some teams play this way, some teams play that way?
Yeah, I can't talk for other coaches. There's lots of teams that just play above and they stay above, and they want to have numbers back all the time, and that gives you space to skate. Maybe it gives you space to work to get to the offensive zone. But honestly, last game, whether it was face-offs or our breakouts or our neutral zone, Philly was right on top. They were standing beside our outlets, and it was a grind to get through. I thought we did actually a pretty good job. In the first, it was a saw-off, but their offense in the second came, like you said, from the turnovers, and in the third, I thought we went back to what we needed to do. And it may take you an extra pass, or it may take a dump in instead of a carry in to get yourself into the offensive zone. But I thought, those are the type of things we have probably learned as a team this year. We've done a lot better job at that, about recognize what the opposition's throwing at us and taking advantage of it.
I also wanted to ask you about Rick Bowness's All-Star selection. Obviously, there's a team honor in that, but knowing him as well as you do, what does it mean to you to see it, and what can you say about that?
Yeah, that's great for him, great honor for him, and we got to obviously tip our hats to the players there. All the things that they've done, how they've played, and to be where we are in the standings is awesome. And for him, it's a great reward for a guy that's been around the league, this long. And I know he's excited to go. And on that note, I will say Judy had her surgery today, and that's why Rick was away, and she's doing great. So everything's really looking positive, and so he'll be back tomorrow. And like I said, he's excited. We're excited for him to get that opportunity.
You go back to, I think he was considering retirement, or at least open to the concept of it, before this job. The things that, you guys have gone through over the last year, leadership changes, players in, players out, what he's gone through this season, being with his family and all of that too. Does honors like this mean a little bit extra for him when you see it?
Yeah, I'm sure it does. He was pretty excited when, we had actually had the group had a chance to tell him that he was going. He didn't know it was coming. We had a meeting, and we put it up on the screen, so he found out. And I'm sure he could have done the math too and recognized where he was. But it was good that the players were all there when he did get recognized, and that was a nice moment. And he's earned this. Over not just this year, he's earned this over his career, and certainly, like you said, he's been through a lot here. Coming into Manitoba, there's been a lot of things that have kind of been obstacles at times, and he's handled them tremendously, and he's been a real good mentor for me and just for us as coaching staff. He gives us so much room to work and do what we need to do, and it's great for him and his family to be there.